Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Before we even get started, I'm going to let everybody get in the room. Today we want to talk about, is it his ego, respect, or desire? Hello, Ink72. Hello. How's everyone doing this morning? I'm not even saying it's too early for me because y'all know normally this is around the times that I do my live streams in the first place. But I know for some of you it's pretty early, okay? And I've been up a while doing certain things. So, good morning. And if this is one of the first times you've been in one of my live streams, my name is Braille. I am the creator of the Pedestal Wife Society. And I focus in a lot of times on feminine energy and healing and taking care of your mental blocks and love blocks. So let's go into the content. Good morning. The Melanie Star, wonderful. So hopefully everyone's having a good morning so far, or wherever you are in the world, hopefully it's going well for you. I want to talk about the fact that we have to start categorizing men. I don't know if a lot of you are aware of the programs that I have. I did a program a while back called Vetting 101. And this is where this video is going to reside at, by the way. And I talked about how vetting is 95% observation and 5% questions. Most of the questions that you think you need to be asking, you need to pay attention to observation. Observation is going to be the number one tool that you use in order to vet. And when it comes to dating, you need to focus on, is he dating you from his ego, from respect, or desire? You need to learn how to categorize men and place them in these boxes. The reason for this is because then you know what type of man is coming towards you and what type of man is going away from you. Now, I didn't add friends because I don't think men make good friends. So I didn't say friendships. I don't categorize men into a friendship category because they don't make good friends. And since they don't make good friends, I didn't want to put that in this live stream. Okay? So that's why I don't have a friend category for men to be placed in, because I don't believe they make good friends. A lot of times they have an expectation from you that is not very friendly. And so I don't think they make good friends, so I don't have a category for friendship when it comes to men. I don't have men friendships. Anytime I have ever went down that path when I was single and dating, they always had ulterior motives. They had other expectations. They wanted something from me that I was unwilling to give. So I think all women should categorize men in certain boxes. Is he dating me for his ego? Is he dating me from a place of respect? Is he dating me from a place of desire? Now, let's talk about what that means, because it looks different. Respect is deep admiration for self. Does he admire you? Is he dating you from that perspective? Is he dating you for ego, his sense of self-esteem, or desire, just having strong feelings of wanting? Now, let's talk about ego dating, because a lot of women don't realize some men are dating you based off their ego. It is all about him. And you can tell this by just observation. This doesn't require a lot of questioning or certain specific questions to eliminate him, because you can tell by when you're having a conversation with him, if every time he's trying to turn the conversation back to him, he's dating you from that place of ego. If he doesn't want to know anything about you, if he isn't interested in getting to know you, and it's all about him, and he's always trying to look for an ego boost, and he's always looking for a lot of attention, he's also using manipulation, or he's using his anger in order to get his way. Realize that he's dating you from ego. And ego dating is a thing. It is a thing you have to watch out for when you're out here dating. So determine, is he dating me from his ego? Let's talk about respect. Because a lot of the information I hear about respect is wrong. Most time, even when I was looking at some information, or I think I saw something pop up in my FYP, and I went and looked it up, and I realized that a lot of coaches are teaching that a man can respect you but not love you, or love you and not respect you. And I'm going to tell you that respect is so valued among men that if a man cannot respect you, baby, he can't love you. And you need to look at it from that perspective, because respect is so valued by men. When they did a poll on respect versus love, the men came back and said they would prefer to be respected versus loved. And y'all have to realize respect is love to him. And let me tell you something that I don't think no one's going to tell you this. So you can stop this now, because I see too many of you all trying to figure out how to earn his respect. And the more that you earn his respect, you earn his disrespect. The reason for that is because men can sense fakeness. They can sense when you do not have self-respect for self, but then you're willing to do things to earn his respect, and he know that will not last. So if the more you try to earn his respect, the more you will earn his disrespect. You can never earn a man's respect. You can't earn his respect. You need to focus in on getting deep admiration for yourself. You need to focus in on your own self-respect for yourself. And how do you do that? You focus in on your values, establishing boundaries, and absolutely learning about self. The more that you do that, the more you'll gravitate towards men who respect you. But this whole push that I see on social media where they're teaching you all how to earn his respect, but you have not dived into your own self-respect and your own admiration, you haven't deepened that for yourself, that's the issue, because you can't earn his respect. He recognizes that you're only doing these things in order to get him or get him into a relationship or to be with him. And then when you have him, he knows that that mask will fall away, because respect is deep admiration for self. You have to do that for yourself. Men respect women who respect themselves for themselves. So you have to realize, is he dating me from a place where he respects me? Does he value my opinion? Does he pay attention to me? Is he returning my phone calls and wanting to communicate and wanting to spend time with me? Am I a priority in his life? Literally last week, my car broke down. And I wasn't even stressed or worried about it, because I already know it takes one phone call. I took one phone call, called my husband. He was there in 20 minutes or less. And he was literally talking to me because it was 100 degrees outside. He's like, "Are you outside?" I'm like, "No, it's hot outside." He said, "Good." He was even trying to make sure that I was in a place where I am safe and cool from the weather. He didn't want anything to happen to me. So he said, "Go into the nearest store and stand in there. It's too hot for you to be outside." This is him having shown that he cares about me. He cares about making sure that I am protected, make sure that I am safe. And you will see that you are a priority in his life. When you call him, and even if it's not an emergency or not, he's going to make sure he returns that phone call. And my husband is very busy. He is very busy, he has a lot of responsibilities, and he still makes time to make sure that I am taken care of. He still returns my phone call. Even from the very beginning, if I called him and he promised to call me back, baby, he gonna return that call. Even if it's just to say, "Hey, I'm just returning the call that I promised you," because he keeps his promise to me. He doesn't even promise me anything that he can't deliver. If a man is showing you respect, he will give you these things. Now, desire, we already know what it is. Desire is a strong feeling of wanting. When a man is dating you from that place of desire, he is going to be pursuing you, and only thing he's going to be focused in on is sex. He's only going to be focused in and trying to get between your legs and trying to get you alone. He's going to be trying to fulfill his needs. You should be recognizing, when you see these three things, what is he dating me for? That should be like the number one thing that comes up when you're vetting a man. When you begin getting to know a new man, you should be trying to see, is he dating me from his ego? Is he dating me from respect? Is he dating me from desire? And then when you determine which one it is, then you deal with him accordingly. Now, what you want to see is him dating you from respect. You want to see that one. You want to see that he is doing things that shows he values your opinion. You want to see that you are a priority. You want to see that he pays attention to you. You want to see that he supports you. You want to see that he isn't trying to change you. Because that's another thing I keep seeing over and over, where women get with men and they believe that he could love them but not respect them, so they do a lot of things to earn that respect. And then the more you do to try to earn a man's respect, the more disrespect you will receive. Because men understand, and they understand when they see a woman who operates in a place of self-respect. Self-respect is where you have that deep admiration for yourself. It's where you operate from the perspective of your values, having strong boundaries, and showing up for yourself and operating from a space where you are going to be you. When you try to do anything other, you can expect the disrespect to show itself. You can expect the disrespect to show itself. And I know some women are like, oh, no, that's not possible. Because when you go, and I think this also goes to the brainwashing that I've been talking about lately, that a lot of women have when it comes to men. And that's the reason why when you go and look up, how do I earn his respect? You see so many different tactics and ways to earn a man's respect. And none of them tell them, none of them are going to tell you that men respect women who respect themselves for themselves. He will respect you more when you operate from the agreements. Now, some of you might not know what I mean by agreements. Every one of us have certain if you want to say a code of ethics, a code of values, a code of how we're going to operate within this life. When we honor that and we respect that within ourselves, we attract more people who align to that. Versus when we go out here and we look at what other people are doing and we just copy and paste in order to earn respect from others, this is where you will get disrespected. Because men respect women who respect themselves for themselves. Focus in on developing a deep admiration for yourself. And how do you go about doing that? You go in and you focus in on living your life according to your own agreement, your own code, and your own values, and establish deep boundaries. Establish deep boundaries. And you will see a whole lot more success with dating men who are dating from respect versus men who are dating from the other ones. And I'm quite sure we have a lot of experience with men who are dating for ego. Like, there's tons of those, but we don't want to date those. We don't want to date the men who are ego dating, and they're just dating from a place so that they can get that ego boost, and that they can get that attention that they need, and that they can have just the focus on them. We want to date from respect, but it always goes back to a woman developing deep admiration for herself, and instead of focusing in on how to earn his respect, figure out how to earn your own. What makes you respect yourself? What makes you feel good about who you are and where you are in life? Develop that deep admiration, and I guarantee you will absolutely eliminate all of the others. That's the reason why I always promote inner work. I'm always going to go back to inner work will solve a lot of these problems. But I know it's not on every woman's viewpoint or every woman's thing to do. But inner work will solve these problems. But is it his ego, respect, or desire? That should be the number one question you look at when you meet someone new. That should be the number one thing that you look at to see if this person is dating me for the right reasons, or if this is going to go anywhere. And the reason why respect is so important, because respect is the foundation. Men have to respect you before they can grow in love with you. And then once they respect you, and they have these intense feelings, they can move forward. And you'll have a healthier relationship because of the fact you'll be in a relationship where he absolutely supports you. And because I'm so tired of seeing these videos where women are in relationships where the men don't support them. Like they don't get the support, they don't get the care, they don't even have an opinion. She's not even a priority for him. And they're still literally arguing about the same thing on social media every single day. Like literally every single day. It's good for social media and entertainment, but I don't want to be in that type of relationship. I don't know about y'all. Like, you know how I am. If you love it, I like it. I'm not going to stress myself over what a woman wants for herself, because I believe we all are unique and we all are able to make a decision how we want to live our lives. But I'm so over the videos that show that women in relationships where men do not respect them. They don't understand that you cannot have love without respect. Not when it comes to men. Men value respect too much. So they have to respect you in order to grow in love with you. And the more that you sit around and you try to earn respect, the more disrespect you can expect. And that is the thing they're not going to tell you. They're going to tell you can earn his respect, that you can change yourself in a certain way so that he will respect you. But see, men recognize when a woman doesn't respect herself, and they're going to treat her accordingly. That's the reason why the best thing for women to do is to get a deep admiration for herself and learn how to dive deep into self-respect. Self-respect is the way you're going to be able to align with more men who respect you so you can move forward. Because I know y'all are also tired of seeing those videos over and over and over where you can pretty much tell that the woman is not respected in the relationship. She is not a priority. She's not even concerned. There's no consideration given for her. And it's over and over. Like, it's good for entertainment. It's good for social media. It's good to get people talking. But I don't want any of the women that's in my community or any of my inner circle members to follow or get into in that type of relationship, because it's not going to be helpful. Like, it's definitely going to lead to divorce. So pay attention. Pay attention. Remember, vetting, 95% of it, observation. If you observe it, you can't unsee it. Don't pretend that it's not a red flag, that it's not happening right in front of you, because what you ignore, you will pay for. That will be the reason why the relationship ends. So learn how to categorize men. Stop thinking that all of them are in love, or all of them care about you, or all of them are pursuing you for one thing or the other. Look at them is from the ego, because you can tell when somebody is moving from ego. When they move from ego, it's all about them. They're very manipulative. They're going to gaslight you. And don't try to talk yourself. Don't gaslight yourself. Like when I tell you that I have talked to women that gaslight themselves and that the guy doesn't have to do it. Don't gaslight yourself. Don't put yourself in a situation when, stick to the rule of confusion. Stick to that rule, and I guarantee you it will stop this whole gaslighting yourself. If there's any kind of confusion, then something ain't right. Then if you feel like that you are confused about which category he is in, then something isn't right, and that is your indicator that you need to move on and move around. Let's make things very simple and simplify things so that we can have the outcomes that we desire. So his ego, if he is moving from ego and it's based on everything that he wants to do, look at it from the perspective of, is he even caring about your opinion? Like, you've mentioned a restaurant over and over and over. Has he even got the food, even asked you out to go to that restaurant? You've been talking about going to this new place. Has he even said, hey, what day can we go? When are you available? Is he even paying attention to what's going on in your life? You can tell when somebody's moving from ego, because it's all about them. He's not going to offer anything for your consideration. He's not going to care about your opinion. It's going to be all about him. If majority of the time that y'all are together, you're just talking about his issues and problem, baby, his ego. It's simple. Don't gaslight yourself. Don't think, oh, well, I've had he's asked 1 or 2 questions, but 1 or 2 questions throughout the entire relationship about you and what you're doing and how you are and what you're trying to achieve and what your dreams are, that's not enough. If the entire relationship, you can see over 95% of the relationship is about him, just assume that it's ego, because it is. Because a person who is healthy, they're going to want to know more about you. They want to know about what you like, where you like to hang out, what type of dreams they're going to know more about you so they can get to know you. But when it's from ego and you're just an ego boost and he's just keeping you around for self-esteem and for him to feel good as a man and for him to become self-confident, you can identify and categorize him appropriately. It's ego. And when he's moved from a place of respect and he has deep admiration for you, because that's what respect is. That's what respect is. It is having deep admiration for you. It is caring about your opinion. It's about listening to you. It's about paying attention to you. It's about, like, when I see there's a video that's going on social media right now where there's couples and they're asking the couples questions. And you can recognize what relationship is moving from respect and which one is moving from ego, just based off the questions. When they ask the husband about simple questions about his wife and he knows nothing, that means that relationship is already, it's a male-centered relationship. It's one that's ego-based and it's all about him. I think there was only one couple where the guy knew the woman. The guy knew what the woman liked. He knew what her favorite color was. He knew what her favorite food was. He knew her dreams and what she wanted to achieve. This is coming from a place of respect. And if a man respects you, then he can grow in love with you. If a man doesn't respect you, he cannot love you. I don't care what the social media says. I don't care what any other coach says. I've witnessed this. This is personal experience. When a man doesn't respect you, since men value respect so much, if he doesn't respect you, baby, he can't love you. You can't. That's not your man. That's not your guy. Move around. Move around and find somebody else. Get you another one. Because you want to, it's going to show up later on in life when he is showing his disrespect. Because when he can't respect you, expect disrespect. Expect him to not care about your birthday, or to expect him to not celebrate your anniversary. Expect him to not want to take you on vacations. Expect him to disrespect you in all ways but one. He's going to turn you every way but loose. When a man disrespects you, he's going to disrespect you, and he's going to disrespect you in your face. So recognize when he respects you and when he doesn't. And move around when he doesn't. Don't go down his path of trying to earn his respect. Because I guarantee you, the more you try to earn his respect, the more you're going to get disrespect. Because the thing is, the secret is, you can't earn a man's respect. I know some people are going to say that's not true, but I'm going to tell you what I've seen in personal experience. Anytime a woman goes down this path of trying to earn a man's respect, she ends up being disrespected. And the reason for that, because it's fake. It's fake. Men can tell when you have no self-respect, when you don't have a deep admiration for yourself, and they act accordingly, and they treat you accordingly, and they disrespect you in your face. When they do have that respect for you, you can tell because you become a priority. They care about your protection. They care about your safety. Just like when my car broke down, and I was in the space where my car broke down, I called my husband. Instead of him concerning himself about the car as much, he wasn't as concerned about the car because he knew he would take care of that. He was more concerned about me burning up or overheating in the heat because it was 100 degrees out there. He's like, go find your space to go sit down. Go find somewhere to sit down. Go find somewhere to get cool and get you a drink of water and get yourself where you are not overheated. He was concerned about me fainting in the heat or getting sick out there. He was more concerned about that than he was about the car. That's being a priority. That's him showing up for me. And if I am to call him, he was really busy. He's been really busy a lot lately. And he's been staying late at work too, because he's really busy. And I called him and I hadn't even said 2 words out my mouth yet. And he's like, do you need me for something? Do you need me to come home? Do you need me to go and pick up one of the children for you? Do you need me to? He was already naming off things because I'm a priority. When you're a priority, you'll know because he's going to show up for you in more ways than one. But when he is disrespectful and he's disrespecting you, he's going to show that all in your face. Like, you cannot hide from that disrespect that he's giving you. And since most women don't understand it, he does not respect you. And since he can't respect you, he's going to disrespect you. You think you can earn his respect. When men recognize when you do things to earn it, they see the fakeness from it because they know what self-respect is, because they have been conditioned to respect themselves to a certain level. They get the training that most women need. Little girls need to learn how to have self-respect for themselves at a young age and understand what that means. See, men get that at a young age. They get that sense of self-esteem and how they're supposed to be treated. We get that, women get that training of how you're supposed to treat others. Like, we are taught how to treat others and how to be good to other people more than we're good to ourselves. And so since they know what self-respect is, and you go in and you try to be fake to earn their self-respect, they disrespect you more because you can't earn a man's respect. Like I said, I'll double down on it, triple down on it, based off of personal experience of seeing women try to do it. Seeing women try to go in and earn a man's respect because they want the man, and realizing the more they try to earn his respect, the more he absolutely disrespected them. Because men will look at it from this perspective. Men respect women who respect themselves for themselves, not because of a man, not because of someone else, not because of someone else's training, someone else's doing. When you respect yourself for yourself, you will gravitate in a line to more men who want to respect you. But categorize them. Start throwing them in a category. Hey, determine if he's dating you from ego. Is his ego in the way? Is he dating you from a place of needing that ego boost? Is he ego dating? Is he dating you from respect? Because respect is the foundation for love. A man cannot grow in love with you unless he respects you. And is it desire? Is it just trying to get with you? Y'all, let me tell you something that I know for facts, based off personal experience. A man who really wants you, they don't try to come in heavy and hard. They try to, like, they really, really are careful about what they say. If they're even careful about even touching you, because they're not coming from a place of desire. When a man is moving or trying to get between your legs and he's just trying to get to having sex, he moves in a different way. He tries to say things to see how you respond, to see how far he can go. So he'll say outlandish things when he is coming from a place of desire. He'll start talking about sex immediately, trying to get into your space immediately, trying to touch you immediately. When a man absolutely is operating and dating from respect, they don't even do that because they're scared of scaring you away. They're scared that if they say the wrong thing, you're not going to give him a second date. Or if he does the wrong thing, that you're not gonna want to date him. So when you are being dated from respect, it looks different, and it looks different when you're being dated from desire. Anytime that I've been dated from desire, the guy was all in my space. I'm like, give me some space. They like always in my space, always in my face, saying outlandish things, trying to talk about my body, trying to talk about, saying ridiculous stuff like what those lips do, or, how are you and what you like in bed. Like, y'all gonna hear those type of questions when he's dating from a perspective of desire. When he is thinking nothing about sex and desire with you, he's gonna come with outlandish questions. I'm gonna tell you right now, go ahead and cut him off. Cut him off. Don't even deal with it. As soon as a man step incorrectly and I can see he ain't even a little nervous to date me, that means you are not dating me from a place of respect, because you need to be nervous. You need to be, I don't want you shaking in your boots, but I want you to step wisely. I want you to speak wisely with me, because you may lose me. I don't got no problem with letting you go. I absolutely do believe in walking away. And I had the reputation of walking away too. So even when my husband came, we had that first date, I noticed that he was like very careful what he said. He was careful about how he treated me. He gave me some space. He didn't want to crowd me up or try to fill me up. He wasn't trying to play footsies under the table. Everything was very respectful and laid out. He took me to nice places. He took me shopping after. He laid it on thick because he knew what type of woman that I am and how it was coming from. But his respect was based off my own deep admiration that I have for myself, because I believe in self-centering yourself, not selfish, self-centering. And being self-centering means that I have a sense of values and boundaries and a code of ethics in the way that I operate. And he could tell that. And he responded in a way of respect. Not because I was trying to earn his respect or try to do things to prove him that I'm a certain type of woman. It is because he saw who I was as a woman. And see, that's the thing. You can't earn a man's respect. Stop trying. Focus in on developing a deep admiration for yourself and your own self-respect. And I guarantee you'll start having men that want to date you from respect. The Million Star 1000%. ZGCJCG. Okay. The problems I need chemistry. Okay. I've talked about the fact that I'm a lover, so I need chemistry too. But I understand that the initial attraction, like the butterflies, means that there is a reaction in the body. It's absolutely been researched and proven that reaction doesn't mean that there's going to be attraction or that it's going to be like, a long-term thing. So I have to have chemistry, but I focus in on getting to know that person, because I've learned that getting to know them is where the chemistry starts. You have to give people a chance. You have to give them a chance. And then the attraction builds. I wouldn't even suggest marry anyone. Like, if you're getting to know them and there's nothing, then don't go for it, because there's still going to be love. There's still going to be sex. There's going to still be all these things within a relationship, and you want to have a healthy version of that. And I know some women are like, oh, I don't want any of that. My platform has never been about just money. I've always said I have to have it all. I'm a woman. I'm a greedy woman. And since I'm a greedy woman, I have to have the love. I have to have the admiration. I have to have the care, the consideration, the respect. I have to have it all. And I always try to encourage women that you can have it all in the relationship, but you do have to get to know the person. Like, get to know the person, and not just depend on that initial, the initial butterflies that the majority of people depend on. People are going out with other people based off looks and butterflies. Get to know the person and see if there's the chemistry develops, the attraction develops. Because like the more that I got to know my husband, the more attracted I was to him. The more that I got to experience him showing up for me. Like, how can you not be attracted to a man that will drop everything for you and come for you? Like, how can you not be attracted to the man that he will give his last for you? And not just for you, for your children too. Like, how can you not be attracted to a man that is always telling you and supporting you? And like, anything that I do, he calls it good. Like, anything that I do, like, he makes me a priority. And that is attractive to me. It's attractive to me that he puts me a priority. He cares about me. He cares about my opinion. He supports me in all of my endeavors. He respects me, and we share similar values. My name is Ayana. Am I saying that right? Ayana? Thank you. You're welcome. So I do believe you have to have some type of attraction. I think if there's no attraction, you probably got to let it go. And that's unfortunate, but maybe what you could do, if there's other women that are looking for the same thing, because see, I don't have no problem with, if I have a girlfriend and I dated a guy that he was perfect for her and not perfect for me, I would give her his number, because I'm not going to be with him and he's not going to work for me. And maybe somebody else is good for him that you know, but he ain't going to work for me. I don't have no problem with that. Because I don't call a man mine until he's my husband. Like, I am single until marriage. And that's how I operated when I was dating. I was never, ever, ever that girl who was willing to be who cut all ties with other guys if I was just dating them. Single until you're married. But I absolutely do believe the attraction is a must. I am a lover. Like, when I tell y'all that my archetype is a lover, that's always been important to me. But I also want to be with a certain type of guy too. So that's important to me. And having it all, like I said, I'm a greedy woman. Some people may say I'm selfish, but I know I'm not. I'm self-centered. I know how to make sure that I am important and I'm a priority. But I can also care for others in the same, at the same time. Like, I'm absolutely multifaceted. I can do things, all in tandem. I don't have to do one or the other. Like, too many women choose to take care of other people and care about what other people are doing, and they just forget themselves. I'm not of that mind. Like, I remember that I have to care for myself, and I take care of me so I can become better, and I can elevate, and I can evolve. But y'all have started categorizing them off gate. And you need to do it pretty quickly. You need to start categorizing them. You need to see if he's dating from his ego. Like, is he that type of guy? The only time he's calling you is when he's down. Like, look out for those. Because I've taught you all that feminine energy is so important that they lean on women and need the support of women. And since they need the support of women, when they're going through hard times, who do they call? They call a woman. The reason why they call a woman, because they get the support and the desire and the necessary energy so they can go forward and move past whatever the issue is. They get more self-confident. We know how to support, we know how to encourage, and we know how to inspire. So that's the reason why you have to pay attention to that ego. See, when a man is down and he's operating from his ego, what will happen? He will call you only when he's going through something. And he got you on that phone for hours talking about his situation. And here you go supporting him, saying, you can do it. You got it. You strong. And you be trying to inspire him so he can get past the situation. But once you do that and your job is done, you don't hear nothing else from him. He's dating you from ego. He's only using you to get access to that feminine energy so that he can move forward. Men need that feminine energy. That's the reason why they try to have it around them, even if they hate you. They can absolutely despise you and still have feminine energy all around them because they need that feminine energy to tap into so they can get that inspiration, that ego stroke, that compliment, that support, that motivation. And so they'll have a lot of women around them, even if they don't like them. They don't like them. And so you have to pay attention to the ego. Like, is he coming from that? Is he trying to date me from his ego? Is he ego dating? Because ego dating is a real thing. People really do ego date. And so you need to realize, is he ego dating? Put him in that category. And a lot of times I'm going to say a man who's ego dating, there really isn't anything that you can do with him because he's ego dating. It's all about him. He's never going to let you in so that y'all can have anything. You can't build anything off the ego, sis. Let him go, move around, find another. It's just that easy and just that simple. You can't do nothing with him, moving on around. If he's dating you from a perspective of respect, that means he makes you a priority. That means he has, when it comes down to respect, respect is nothing more than deep admiration. You want him to admire you. You want him to look up to you. You want him to look at you with a deep admiration and care and consideration. When a man has that for you, then y'all have something that you can work with. But when y'all don't have even that building block, since respect is so important to men, respect is more important to men than love is. So respect is the cornerstone that you need to have with him for him to even want anything more with you. There is no such thing that a man can respect you and not love you. If a man doesn't respect you, he can never love you. And that goes against everything everyone is saying. Every coach, because I've heard it over and over, because see what we do, when we don't get our way, we like to give excuses. I'm not going to give you none. I'm not going to give you any excuses. I'm not going to give you a leg to stand on when it comes to this because I want you to be successful and get the things you want. I am tired of women posting these videos that's showing that their marriages aren't worth being married. Like literally, the piece of paper ain't papering. There's no reason to have the piece of paper. If I can go through one more video that I've been sent of a couple where the man is he's obviously disrespecting her, and she's going to what we gonna do about it? We can't do nothing about the disrespect that she's receiving. Nothing. Only thing we can do is tell her to leave. But we already know the reason why she's on social media and showing it to us is not because she's ready to leave. It's because of the fact she wants options. And you don't got options when a man is disrespectful. You just don't. If he doesn't respect you, if he doesn't have that deep admiration for you, if he doesn't look up to you, if you don't have influence with him, then you shouldn't be with him. It's just that simple. Stop. If you even have a little bit of confusion about what category to put him in none and move around and find another. Move around and find another. I guarantee you vetting isn't as hard as you think it is. I did a whole program, Vetting 101, because I wanted to make it simple, because it is simple. When it comes to vetting, majority of vetting is observation. If you just let people talk, they're telling themselves. You don't even have to do a lot. Like, trust me, you don't have to do a lot. Anytime that I do 101s, I don't even talk. I just let them talk. I let them talk for a whole hour the first meeting. You want to know why? Because it lets me know and gives me insight into who they are and what they need from them. I don't need to ask any questions. All I need to do is listen. And I just asked, the first question I asked them, hey, what are you looking to get out of this platform? What are you wanting from me? And I just let them talk. And I just encourage them to talk more and talk more. The more people talk, the more you realize who they are, what the issues are, and what you need to do. It's just that simple. Stop making vetting complicated, because it's not. It's not complicating. Vetting is easy. 95% of vetting is observation. 5% is the questions that y'all are looking for. Now, I'm Vetting 101. I do put questions in there, but the questions aren't needed. On the first date, you literally can just listen. Just listen. When he's having this conversation, if he has a whole conversation with himself, that's ego. Like, if he's not even giving you a word edgewise, he's not even asking you about your life, he don't care about any of your opinions, that's ego. Look at it, like, listen to how he's approaching you and how he's trying to talk to you. And you can tell where a man is coming from. So you don't have to do a lot. Like, I guarantee you, it's not hard. It's very easy. You just have to be willing to sit back and let him carry the silence. Let it be silent. And I guarantee you, he'll feel enough nervousness that he'll start talking. So he can fill in the blank in the silence. Yep. True observation, intuition. Absolutely. You don't need as much as you think. You have all the tools that you need to be able to vet a man, to see where he's coming from, and if you should do anything further with him. All you got to do is listen to him. His ego will tell him. If he's talking about his job, even him talking about his job will tell him, because it'll be how he treats his co-workers and how he sees them. If only thing he's talking about his co-workers is trying to figure out how to use them, or how he gets over on them and how he mistreats them, y'all, you only one step away from the co-worker, babe. Like, because how a man treats people is how he treats people. It doesn't matter what position they hold. You want a man that's going to treat a homeless man just as good as he treats everybody else in his life. These are people who have good, deep values, and they operate from a code of ethics. You want that type of man who's operating from that code of ethics and who's going to treat people well. You just have to pay attention. If you pay attention, all of the red flags that he has, you will be able to observe them, and you can move around and move away. So if he's dating from ego, you'll recognize that by the way he talks. Like when a man is talking to you in a condescending manner, like he's talking to you like you are not smart, you're not bright, or that you don't have, like he doesn't respect anything that you have going on, just assume it's ego. Men telling themselves they're not good actors at all. You just have to be willing to listen and observe. And I guarantee you'll be able to vet and date better if you just do that. If you just learn how to observe and learn how to pay attention to what he's saying and not ignore red flags, you have better outcomes when it comes to dating. Because I will never forget, I had a situation, like this is before my husband. I was dating a guy, all right? And what had my antenna going off was he was very condescending. He was like, oh, no, he tried to make it sound like that he was up here, he was a good person, and I was a horrible person. And he had deep religious beliefs. So he was talking, he pretty much judged me too. Like he judged me in that very conversation and told me I was going to hell. And I was like, I know I ain't ever going on a date with you ever again. Because he was like, you're going to hell. You're going to bust hell wide open. And he was basically just judging me based off, because we stayed in a small town. So he kind of knew of me. And he tried to judge me without any context, without even asking me what truly happened. He just came with strong judgment and came with this superiority idea complex where he could change me. And if I was to be with him, I would have a better life and that I would become a better person. And I was like, I am not dealing with this fool. Like, I swear, if you listen to people long enough, they'll tell themselves the fool that they are. And he really came in acting as though he was superior to me, that he could, if I got in a relationship with him, that I would become a better person, that I would be able to make it into heaven. Like, he condemned me all in one conversation. And I was like, nah, he's not for me. Because he took it as, he knew about me dating multiple men. So he took it as, oh, you shouldn't be dating multiple men. Because some people aren't enlightened enough to believe that they don't separate dating from sex. They believe just because you're dating multiple men, you're having sex with them. And one of the rules I have about rotational dating is you don't have sex with none of them. But he didn't believe that, even though people were like, men were not lying on me either. They would go out here and say they dated me, but I would never sleep with them. But he assumed because I had dated other men that I was sleeping with all of them. And he judged me for it and literally thought he was going to save my soul. Told me I was going to go straight to hell and I was the way. Like if he was to marry me, that he could save my soul. Like, y'all, that was the most frightening 5 minutes of my life. The most frightening 5 minutes of my life. Because I was in a car with him. And instead of, I could have acted a fool And, you know, I'm a logical person. I literally ran through it in my head what it could look like. I said, so if he just this unhinged now, if I was to tell him, pull over and let me out, and I could have called my uncle to come pick me up, then who could have known or imagined what could happen next? So I just like didn't really say anything to him. He even loved it because I didn't really say that to him because I felt like he was crazy. And I gauged his craziness. And I'm glad I didn't say anything because he's the one that became my first stalker. I realized what a stalker was when it was to him. He did not take it. I just pretty much dumped him. I never went on a date with him anymore. We didn't have the opportunity of blocking people back then and any of those things. And since it's a small town, he knew where I lived at, y'all. So I had to get the restraining order against him. And that still didn't help because if you know anything about restraining order, it don't help when it comes to a crazy person. It doesn't help. You got to have your own protection. And thank God I come from a family of men, for one. So I let my uncles, I let my brothers know. And then I met my husband. And my husband showed up. And when I met my husband and I told him about the little situation, we were just starting to date. And he saw how the guy was acting. And since it's a small town, he knew of him, and he doesn't like him. To this day. He loved to tease the kids, talking like, hey, you know, your mama was about to marry a deadbeat. Y'all could have had a father that was a deadbeat. I was never going to marry that man. It was one date with that man. One date. And he became stalker crazy. And my husband had to deal with him. I mean, when I say deal with him, he dealt with him. Okay? That man goes... And he still stays in that town too. So when I go to town, he walks the opposite street of me because he know my husband. Like he ain't playing with him. He ain't gonna play with him. And that's another reason that made me like, okay, my husband can protect me. He's willing to protect me. He didn't even barely know me, but he was not gonna allow a man to stalk or harass a woman. And he stepped in, and it was really early on before we were just getting to know each other. We weren't official either when he handled him. And I realized, okay, this may be my husband. And I don't make decisions quickly. I was like, we're going to continue the vetting, but everything's looking on up and up. Now we're 22 years later, and in August will be 23 years. But categorize them very quickly. They tell themselves, just listen and observe. And I guarantee you'll know if he's operating from his ego, or if he's operating from respect, or he's operating from desire. And when you see something you don't like, be quick to walk away. Stop trying to stay around and make it right. Stop trying to make something work that doesn't work. You're going to pay the price, and you're going to be like all these other girls up here on social media that be sitting here arguing and telling us their problems like we can solve it, and we can't. Because if I see more and more video of women who are married to men who do not care about them, I'm going to throw up. I'm tired of it. I hate it. Because they don't have to be married to those type of men. They don't have to be married to those type of men. You can have something better. You can have it all. I always say I'm a greedy girl. I am. I'm a greedy girl. Not just literally, baby. Everything in my life, I like to have the things that I like. So you need to categorize. Start putting them in a category. When you start seeing it, move away, move around, and get away from them. Don't try to make nothing work when you see a man moving from his ego. And when you see a man that's moving from respect, that's the man you need to give an opportunity. When a man is respecting you, he's dating from respect. He's dating from admiration because he has to admire you. And you see that he admires you and he wants to support you and he wants to be there for you. Then you can move forward. Don't do any other than respect. Stop trying to take desire to respect, because there's too many women that see a man is dating for sex and desire, and you're trying to turn it into something. It isn't anything. It isn't anything. I know you want to talk about the exception where there's another girl, she slept with the guy, and it was coming from a place of desire and sex, and they are still together. We're not her. We're not gonna talk about the exceptions, because those are the exceptions to the rule. Those are the exceptions to the rule. That is not the rule. And since it isn't the rule, let's not try to date men who are coming from desire. Let's not try to flip something where it's coming from a situationship or sex or just desire. Let's try to focus in on men who absolutely are dating from respect and admiration for us. and you'll have better outcomes. And you know, one of the things that I truly do believe women need to try to avoid at all costs is trauma. Avoid trauma at all costs. Because yes, that is one of my specialty. That's the things that I deal with. But do you know how long it takes to get a woman on that path where she's able to have a healthy relationship due to trauma? It takes a lot. And it is a lot of steps that has to happen, a lot of healing that has to happen. So I tell women to avoid trauma. Don't put yourself in a position where you're going to be traumatized. If you already see it coming, try to avoid it as much as possible. Because trying to get over a man who breaks your heart, a man who disrespects you, a man who abuses you, or traumatizes you any type of way, it takes a lot out of you. And some of the times to the point where you can never be the same. You can never ever go backwards. You can only go forward. So you never ever become, you lose that part of yourself when you have to go through the part of healing. And sometimes, of course, it can be for the better, but you don't want to lose that part of you that is fun and great to be around, because then you become so traumatized that you're looking for red flags when there aren't any red flags. You're so traumatized that you can't even be engaged or present. You're so traumatized you can't even get to know that person. You're so traumatized that you want to figure out how to eliminate anybody before you even get to know them. So that's what I'm saying. Try to avoid trauma. If you can help it, don't put yourself in a position where you're going to be traumatized with a man. I think that's one of the things that helped me too. It like cutting down on opening myself up to being traumatized. Making sure that I'm only in a relationship in a marriage where I can be respected, I can be seen, understood, and cared for, and admired. Because women love being admired and admiration, especially from our men. The guys that we want them to admire us. But learn how to categorize them, like immediately, and base it off of observations. Don't sit here and be racking your brains about the perfect questions. Don't worry about that. Just get them talking. Trust me when I tell you, all you gotta do is get a person talking, and you can find out where they're coming from. You don't know how many times that I have had conversations or done one-on-ones, and I was able to pretty much figure them out in that conversation based off what they told me. So just categorize them. Start putting them in a category and figuring out which one you can move forward with. Stop trying to use desire and sex to flip something into something it isn't. He's coming from you to you for desire. He's coming to you for sex. Just be honest about it. Recognize what it is. He wants to sleep with you. That's why he's so handsy. That's why he's not letting you have any space. Because if he feels like, men understand that the more that a woman allows them to touch them, the more that he has the ability to have sex with you. Let's talk about that. Because a lot of times women don't understand about their own beings. And since they don't understand their own beings, they don't understand the reason why he's trying to touch you a lot or trying to get into your space. Because the more that you welcome him into your space, the easier it is for him to get closer to you. Just like the more that you spend time with him, it's easier for an attachment to be built. So women have to be very careful about allowing a man in her space and allowing a man to spend time with her. That's the reason why some men go for the friend zone, because they know they can work themselves in between your legs. Because they know that if they spend a lot of time with you, you will start to look at them differently. And that's the reason why women have to know more about their beings so they don't make these type of mistakes and get attached to the wrong type of guys. The more you okay with him touching you or getting in your space or kissing on you, the more you're giving him that okay that he can move forward, that there's possibilities that you are going to give him sex. And men know that sometimes with some women, since they don't have the appropriate education when it comes to men, some women will allow them to go further to get, to home base because of the fact that she's overwhelmed. Like, some women get overwhelmed and don't know how to say no. Men know this. That's why they be testing your space. They're like, okay, let me move into her space because she's so nice. See, she's so sweet. She ain't gonna say no. Like, even if she don't want to, she might still say yes because she doesn't know how to say no. She gets overwhelmed by my presence in her space. So be very careful about that and keep men out your space. On these dates, since men operate from this space, and yes, it's a predator, y'all. Come on, let's be for real. This is a predator. This is a man that operates from this space of being able to identify when this woman doesn't know how to say no. And that's the reason why I go back to women have to absolutely have self-respect for themselves and understand what that means. And understand having a deep admiration for yourself. You know how to walk away or step back out of that space. Because some women don't. I'm going to tell you now, there's some women that have slept with men and they only slept with them because the man was in her space. And she really didn't know how to get him out of her space. And some men operate from that perspective. When you see a aggressive man and he keeps getting in your space, he keeps rubbing up against you. He's coming from desiring sex. Get back up. Some of y'all might just leave that. You might need to leave him at the restaurant. You might need to leave him at the restaurant, especially if you're not in a space mentally where you can say no, where you haven't done that work on self for that deep admiration for self, that you don't know how to say no. You don't know how to walk away. Some men have scored with women because that woman don't know how to say no. That's the reason why they try to get your space. Then they try to get you alone. And then they know they can score. They know they can score. That's the reason why I'll never understand why women are inviting men to their homes on the first date. And especially, and this is another sign, like you're inviting him in your home on the first date. He already realized that you may not have a deep admiration for yourself. And since you don't have that he can just be overwhelm you and then you just have sex with him. I know some of y'all are like, oh, I can't believe it's happening. It's happening. I speak to a lot of women. And some women have been with men because he overwhelmed them. And she didn't say no. She didn't say no because she didn't know she had the option to say no. She didn't feel like she had the option to say no. She felt like it already went too far. Men wanted to go too far. Men wanted to go too far. Especially those types, especially the predator types. They wanted to go too far, especially when they're dating from desiring sex. They wanted to go too far. And they want to overwhelm you. And you have to know when you need to, this is where the admiration for yourself comes up. And you're like, well, I don't want him in my space. I don't want him in my home. I can walk away if it gets too overwhelming. Don't let him overwhelm you to get sex. Just because he's near you, just because he's touching you, sometimes it might be appropriate for you to leave him where you found him. You may be at the restaurant having a meal and you feel uncomfortable. Get up and leave. Or go to the to your waiter and pay your part. Because some of us, we're going to pay our part and we're going to get out. Because we don't want nothing to come back on us. Get out. Don't sit there and accept that. Especially if that's not something you're looking for. If you're not looking to hook up or sleep around or doing those things, and this man is super aggressive, realize where he's coming from. And realize maybe it's best for me to get away from him. Because I've dated guys where they were so aggressive, like super aggressive, trying to get in my space. The thing is, I'm not that girl. I am not that girl where I won't leave you where you are, and I have no problem with saying no. Because you will be surprised how so many women have been like overwhelmed enough just to say yes. And the men who are dating for sex, they don't care. They don't care if you a score is a score to them. They do not care if you didn't enjoy it, or if you didn't want it, or if you didn't want it was too soon for you. They don't care about that. That's the reason I say y'all have to categorize men very quickly, so you know how to deal with them appropriately. Stop trying to deal with a man that's coming at you for sex as though he's coming at you from respect, and he's not. If he's already showing that he's trying to overwhelm you in your space, super aggressive, very handsy already, stop trying to operate from a place of I'm trying to earn his respect. You're not. There's nothing you can do to get it. Like the gag is you can never earn a man's respect. I don't care what anybody say. Like they'll tell you, and my thing about to cut off. Like, why is my internet always, my Instagram always trying to shut off? I literally got 14 seconds, 12 seconds. I've done longer live streams than this. It's weird to me when I'm talking about something that's like this. Now it's about to turn off. So, I'll see y'all on the next one.